Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Valley Golf Course for a very tasty dinner in such a beautiful venue. Dessert bill is coming on at 7:45-ish, so we're giving you 15 minutes there. We would like to thank Debbie Hardwick for these gorgeous flowers that were used last night for our award ceremony. They are so appreciated. We also appreciate the work that Henry Rubik, Dale Rousseau, Devin Biln here on sound. Make me go. Sherry Cargo, Rita Collin, of course Diana, along with so many other staff members who've jumped in to make a great celebration party tonight. So, welcome to Bill Rizun's retirement party. So, before we get the show started, and I know Bill is so looking forward to having all this tension right on him. We would like to acknowledge Bill's mom, Hilda, who is here tonight. And of course the rest of Bill's wonderful family, Diana, Hannah, who couldn't be here tonight, Ollie, and Kellen. We would also like to acknowledge that Wendy Acorn is back for tonight's celebration. Yeah, we celebrated Wendy's retirement a few months ago, but not everybody was able to make it from our staff. Wendy, we miss you every day at Don Ross. But we hear you are enjoying living on the island and love being a grandparent. But we are so glad you could join us here tonight.
For those who've never attended a Don Ross retirement function, you need to know a few things. Number one, we like to get people involved. Number two, we like to have fun. This won't be a stuffy, formal event. Number three, Bill, be warned, we like to put the retiree through their paces. Some years there have been games, other times some drama activities, so bear with us if you're not a staff member, but know there are some fun times ahead. In honor of Bill being a phys ed teacher, we'll have a sports theme running throughout the evening. Lastly, one bit of clarification before we begin. You will likely hear that Bill has worked in one school for the last 30-odd years, but you might hear 3 different names for that same building. Brackendale Secondary was established in the 1980s and was later renamed Don Ross Secondary in the early 2000s. And in 2015, it changed names again to Don Ross Middle School. We're hoping this bit of clarification helps as we describe his school career.
So Bill, the floor is yours.
Sorry. Because I'm now retired, I need to find more income. So I'm actually going to go on Dragon's Den, and this is and one of the products that I'm going to pitch. And there's already Mr. Pascuzzi has put in 20 grand, Mr. Austin 15, okay, and Mr. Fay doesn't spend a lot of money on he's in for 5 already. He's in for 5, okay? So I'm looking for the first people to put in 100 grand are with me, okay? And so we just got the prototype. And then I'm going to set the idea of what's going to happen with this thing, okay?
We did extensive market research in order to improve productivity of all schools, because as you know, money is always tight. And so we really believe that this is a key to our future becoming an efficient, well-oiled business machine. And so yeah, we did surveys not only across it was 5 schools in BC. We went to Alberta, we went to Point Claire, which is a suburb of Montreal, and we found that there was actually a need for this product, hence the seed money. And so we're hoping to take it to the next level.
So, Sally, you're doing a great job. And you know what? That's
What's that?
pressure. Put Sally on. I only gave her. This is going right here, Sally. And,
How did you know?
And luckily. And the helmet fit. This goes in your left hand, right? Right, like this. Yeah.
So it's only a prototype. We're looking for the money to go into production. We're looking for people offshore so please bear with us. It's only a prototype, but we think you'll be impressed.
Okay, now you ready? And the helmet fit? Yeah. I had it on the smart and beautiful setting, and okay. So what we're going to do here is, when I came to Don Ross, the admin assistants, they had telephones in it, and they were doing all these different things, and we talked back and forth. And then Anne came to our school, and she's sitting, and I go around the corner, and she's like talking. And she got her back to me. I go, oh, this lady's always talking, right? Yeah. And then once she was talking, turn around and she'd go, oh my God, why? And then she's going this and that. And I said, oh God, I'm way too old for this. Whatever, teachers aren't listening to everything. So I said, if you go into any school in any country, these people are like, they're the generals. They run the whole place. And if you slow them down, then the principals don't have they got a clue what's going on. These people haven't told them what to do for free, right? So that's why I thought, okay, we need something. My eyesight's going, my hearing's going. So this is what happened. When you normally she would have this little gadget in her mouth, whatever, and when you feel that you turn the button, and the light goes on. So when you come in like this, and the light's on you, you don't have to do anything. You just look at the light, and you have to wait, right? And then you turn the light off. Yeah, oh, again, and then the phone rings. The reason that there is this is that Sally too could be hooked up. And I know there's a lot of environmental people, electricity and dams and everything. Well, right here, you can go, and there's even a solar panel right here. So if you want to go solar, you want to go battery, it's like 3 different ways. Now, I'll tell you, just to make this fair for everyone, it's the order you give Diane the money. So those people that are like 5th, they get it more than the people that are 10th. And you know what? If we run out, we run out, and you're out of luck.
Okay, so dragons, who would like to be part of this bright idea?
You can undo her and do all that. Where's Hoskins? Get up here. You all know Nicole. I've known her for years. Bill, do you have any chocolate? Usually somewhere in the PE office there's chocolate, and I always had chocolate somewhere. And because I'm not going to be around as much as because I might not even come and visit you guys. No, it's not that. It's that I'm retired. I can do what I want. Right? So I'm going to give you that, and because I'm going to give her this. Okay, because she always complained about yellow, so it says right in here, to Nicole, may you always find chocolate, and now stop whining about yellow, because they've won twice in a row since I left. I don't know what you have over my shirt. I didn't know since I left, yellow's won, so I think that's some secret on best belt ever. Go yellow. Ellen, where's Ellen? Come on. You were laughing at Nicole, so it's okay. Now you guys might not want to. I understand. It's like one of those superhero things that is hard. You make the adjustment. So the cape that I used for many years and everything is here, but I added something. See, for you guys, if you're colorblind, you might have a problem with this, but I got my sister when she was over here for grad. She did the sewing for me, and so right now
What about your mother?
My mother picked the color, found the colors for me, and so for a year I've gone back 3 years. For whatever reason, that's when I started. So in 2014, red won. So and then there's Nicole. See that there's the 2 yellow, right? With the what year it was. Now, because I know you guys have computers and that stuff. Thank you, Henry, about computers. But I'm in the back. There's a little V cut like this, and inside, if you're really desperate, you get a pair of tweezers. You can go down there, and I wrote all the scores of all the teams. And in this, so in 214, you look in the back in that little thing. There's a piece of paper. I'm not lying. Okay, not lying. That you can find the scores of the 4 team for those 3 years. So you can do whatever it's made to.
But don't wash it.
Yeah. So it goes like this, and now you can tie it on like that. Okay, got it. Okay. Paul, these, pajama day, so where's Paul? Where's Paul?
Which Paul?
Which Paul? There you go. Everything.
You're wearing my pants.
Now, if you didn't know, Ann and I, we shared an office for a long time, and rumor has we actually got along. So, here's, what's in that?
For years I would give Bill and Diana clothes from my kids. And these are pajamas from Jenny and Lauren.
And I used to wear those on pajama day.
Not only that, there was this god-awful like fuzzy hat, and I don't think he realized it was Lauren's when she was about 3. I still wear it. Oh,
And
that's Lauren's hat.
And the only reason I keep that to Ann is because when whatever year, tell me, Dad, correct me, because I know nothing. I took my year off to look after the last, how many years was that? Last year, I took half a semester.
Oh, 96, 97.
Okay, 96, 97. When Ann gave to me a fly swatter, whatever, and I was saving and saving. And what my daughter does when she flies in from Prince George or whatever, because we're just old people, and she comes in and she says, "Oh God, you guys, you don't clean out anything." And see, I've had this stuff hidden. Like last night, I was going through all the school because I've had it hidden there. Because if it goes home and Hannah gets it, like it's out the door, right? It's out the door. And Ann gave me something, but Hannah, when I said to Hannah, "Okay, I got this," Hannah said she threw it out. So only in the last week did I have to think of something for that. So
this is perfect.
Okay, so on a more, one more thing here. It says here, to Danny Faye, borrowed from House Sound 15 years ago. This was caught when Greg and Ellen doing inventory last Saturday night. So, last Saturday night, some teachers were out having a party, doing it. Greg and Ellen were doing their PE inventory. Like, I know all you people are like, doing their inventories and everything. Yeah, right, we do that. No, this is the wrestling, the original sport video. Sherry and Dale, just because, where are you, Sherry and Dale? I'm just going to give you guys, because one is 2 hats, one each. That wasn't good.
I'm the order, actually.
I'm going to give these to one colored. Notice one. I could have given to Ellen, but you know she got too much of it. So I'm going to give those to Wendy and Debbie. Those could have gone on the cake. But I thought maybe it would have weighed Ellen down a little bit, even though she'd be working out lots. Okay, so Peter Lang. There's Peter Lang. Peter's got a new hip. Did you know that? Stefan, he's got one, but his is a little bit earlier, so he's got one too. So he's got steel, and next week I'm going to get steel. So. Okay, tell us the story, Peter Lang. Mr. Huston, you listen and make sure that he's telling the right story.
Oh, about Tom?
I missed that, Tom.
You missed that?
Bill, you already said it once.
Do you remember?
Well, we had to teach outside, 10 months of the year, and the inclement weather being what it is in Squamish and going down on the field, I think Bill or myself maybe went to Tom and suggested something about maybe some sort of compensation, like maybe we could have some rain gear or something. I think that was the kind of deal, and we thought that maybe he'd feel sorry for us and spring maybe $100 for something that would be like Park Terrace today kind of stuff. And I think this was delivered. I think this was Tom's thing.
Yeah. Hey,
anyways, you went
hey, well, I thought you were
way out on a limb, and Tom showed up with these capes.
Oh, you want to keep going? Keep going. You're doing fine. Keep it going.
Anyway, there it is.
Okay, so we did, and when Peter retired, I couldn't find this. It was in one of my. So I only have one locker. Yeah. Like I have a lot of things put away different places. Yeah, Mrs. Ross is there. She times and says, "What is all this stuff in the back?" And Wendy and I'm just like, "It's bills." And so Tom did buy us an umbrella and this. Right? This is what from teaching PE outdoor because we had no gym. So when we came to school in October and we stood there and we went, no gym. There's no gym there. And Tom said, yeah, there's no gym. And so this was the agreement that worked out is that, okay, you guys go get a gym, but we're going to provide you with things. So, the thing is, we had the umbrella, and then Pete puts this on. Pete, like day one, block one, Pete puts on and rips it down because his neck's too big for it. And he rips it down there, so we had to put a piece of tape on it. Right? So we actually never used it. So whenever so Sean Carter, remember I said we're going to meet you halfway? I think, see, because you could be in the school at some point where, you know, that there is too many gym classes, and they say, Mr. Carter, you're the low man and you're going outside, but we here at Sea to Sky School District, we are supporting you fully. Yes! Yes! You know, the Langs and Rizun, they didn't complain about it. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for you. So, not for you. Oh, where's Olivier? Olivier, can you catch? Can you catch? Let's see if you can catch. Hey, okay, let me show you that, because you know what? In every school, there's always this person that when you play the kid, you know what? You should watch this guy. You know what? And Henry will back me up. Where Henry knows athletics better than any person I know, and he says that guy is a great athlete. And if you ever watch him play the kids at intramurals, and you watch him do any sports, he's pretty amazing to watch. So I always made sure that he was on my team. Okay, so Robin, you're next. Come here. Good, sit right here. Quick, go. Right, your letters on? No. Okay.
Okay, cool. Hey, Rob.
Here, this is actually, sorry, it says right here, Masters 2006, that's just forget that. It says important, right? Do not lose. Notes on 3 options for a high school configuration. Now you gotta watch out for this guy, right? Right? Because he's the guy that sort of blew all the crap in the air.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And you don't want that guy right there, right here, to get a hold of these notes. Right? Because if he figures out what these notes, then he, at some point when someone says, hey, you know what? As Mr. Lang used to say, the little school that could, and I thank Peter for that, right? He used to say, this is a little school that could. That at one point, I think that we would love to be an 8 to 12 school, and I think at some point that's the right decision. Not to go back on Peter, but he did. And you know what? He did tell me he was going to do this. You remember when you told me you were going to do this about the schools? You remember where we were? No, it wasn't at the bar.
But I don't remember drinking with you.
He was in the little kiddie pool at the arena pool. I was playing with my kids, and whenever you came in, they said, by the way, this thing about the schools, it's not going to happen, Bill. You remember now?
No.
Good answer.
Obviously, a little bit more important than those.
I thought this was a roast for you.
It's clearly gone second.
Anyway, here, you make sure this guy doesn't get a hold of your notes.
You
All the
told me
notes,
that a couple years ago.
and look at all that handwritten notes. See,
Are those your handwriting notes?
and there's a list here of all the teachers that moved from Don Ross to House Sound. Let me look around and I look at Mr. Demers. Yeah, I look at Mr. Demers and I look around and there's another. Yeah, there's another one. There's another one. Oh, look at all these people. Right, see? There's a list, Robin, for you to know who moved to that other school. Hey, Whitney, where's Whitney? That's okay. That is more because, you've probably done it. cleaned out all your art supplies, and they're all labeled.
Oh, I bet you Stan!
No, and that's the old one. You talked about the different schools and everything. So that is for when you're in the art room and you don't want to get that nice dress on.
Perfect.
Okay. Devin, where's Devin Bell? This is for you, just because this is the third version. A cold Brockendale secondary. This is Devin. Oh yeah, it goes to you because you're the only big one on the finish. Okay, Karen, where's Karen? Okay, here. And what I had to do is, it wasn't like once I had the gift, I had to find the person. This one, it's old Brockendale second. So that means that's a classic. Okay. On a more serious note, I know I'm looking at the clock. Stan, you're next. You're next. Okay, come here. Hey, there. I know. Believe it or not, I actually used to fit in this one. I used to actually fill it out. And so I started to wear this one when I dropped down to about 100 pounds. So I said, you know what? I don't want to give this one up. So I'm going to give this to Stan. Stan is the senior man on the totem pole. So it's kind of whatever I think. Yeah, but I'm glad because you know what, you guys are in great hands. Now, Mike Weeks. You, when I first started coaching, you gave me these, and actually I have used them over the years. So this one starts in 1977, okay, and they go, and so this isn't all of them because one is I didn't want to give you too many, but so I'm going to give you the no Italian red in the last one. And because you're the basketball coach, I'm actually going to give to you the 218-page rule book. And to say that Henry, if I remember right, I was the first one to meet him. He was on top of the hill, and I was teaching, and interestingly enough, that guy is here tonight because he and I had just talked, and this guy right here said, if you see this guy, his name's Henry Verbeek, and he's an amazing teacher. And I listened to Brian, and then Brian described him to me. So I'm on my field teaching and doing it, and I look up, and Henry's standing on the top of the hill, and I go, oh my God, that must be Henry. And so I said that, whatever, Henry and I talked, and I went into the principal, I said, you need to hire that man. And they did. And he was very much teaching. Okay, Michelle, where are you? I'm just going to give you that, okay, because that's, I know you, right, and just... Where's Brandy? Where's Brandy? Yeah, see, Mr. Hussey does have a memory. Good for you. Yes. If anyone doesn't know Peter likes track. And usually, they're running straight or around the curve and it's over. Right? But he likes that type of things, and so we always got lots of track stuff. And we have lots of track awards and things, and I think that's she's very much passionate about that, and I think that's amazing. So we got these, and I'm going to give it to Brandy because she likes to run, and I just always thought it was cool that she should have one. I wasn't sure. Is Erica here? Okay, but who is the other person that goes to dinner? It was Rosie, and then Rosie left to go to school. Hey, where's Rita? Is Rita here?
Rita's
Fiona's right beside you.
Who?
Fiona, right beside
Oh, right,
you.
okay. That's for you because, you know, the kids in the gym, they always want something to do, so I always had that. I had them so that the kids, I said, here, do this and play with that, so I wanted to give that to the gym. Hey, and Max, where's Max? Okay, here. And when I find the other, those speaking of that, there's Mr. Wick. Yeah, trying to be calm. And I was fortunate enough to coach with Paul.
Yes, Mr. Roy.
And to coach with Paul for some years coaching senior boys. Who with Anthony? Where are you? You're right there. Anthony was on that team, right? And Paul and I had a lot of great time together. And Anthony can tell you the stories when we used to lease 2 bands and go to all the games. And we had a great time. And Mr. Roberts over there, when Paul ended his stint, that man there took over and has done a wonderful job. So that's the role. Oh, I got two more. Okay, Greg Day, where are you? You gotta come here. And you know what? It's so cool that those because we grew up together, and when I think I can do this real time. When I left, when I was hired by Mike. Good job, Harvey. And then when I went to Don Ross, Brian was a phys ed teacher there, and when he left, he gave me this glove, and it has his name burnt in right there. So that was 30 years ago.
34.
Right? And so I always kept this glove in my drawer, and I got it last night. Or was it last night? And I got
Ellen said you were rooting around her office.
That's when I got a few things, and I got this glove because I knew I would do it. So anyway, I burnt my name. I wouldn't use it, but. Last one. So where's Stephanie?
Here, Bill.
Okay.
Bill, can I add something because you brought me to this?
Yeah, oh yeah. You're allowed. You're allowed.
I'm sorry, you're getting off too late here. But, so prior to this teaching education work stuff, Bill and I go back to elementary school, being opponents on teams. Bill and I worked in the provincial parks together for years prior to teaching career, and I was a little worried when I saw the hard hat with the light on. I thought it was like a light counter. Somebody might ask me if you slept with Bill Rizun. It's cold at night in Lake Loveywater. But then I thought, everybody in the parks has slept with Bill anyway, so that's okay. But I do remember leaving
And you're, oh, I didn't know if you were going to go that way.
You're good.
Shouldn't you be doing that with your kids?
And a couple other points is, one, when I was leaving Bracondale Junior, Bill came and asked me, he said, do you have an inventory for the PE equipment? I said, inventory? Like, I was mentored by Peter Hodson. What the hell is an inventory? And you can...
Come into big ideas.
Thanks for keeping that ball. And another
Don't give it back to him, Greg.
another true story that Mike Weeks reminded me of coming here tonight was when Bill was in grade 12, he was UBC was all over him for playing basketball. And so Bill was an amazing point guard, and he'd come down the floor. There'd be, I don't know what's going on in House on Secondary now, but it'd be standing room only in that gym. You couldn't hear yourself think. Pete Hodson took over, and Doug Sheffield, Mike Weeks, and the place was amazing. And Bill was a phenomenal player. And Bill would dribble down, he would start, and he would leap from about the top of the key and end up scoring a lot of points that way. And they called him Billy and the Jets. Billy and the Chiefs, yeah. And until one guy on the other team finally got caught off and had enough of Bill and slammed Bill into the far boards. And actually broke both his wrists in that final game. So Mike Weeks didn't get to go to provincials.
Yes. I gotta just add something. I'm a historian. Bill, I came here my first year, and with Peter Hodson, Doug Sheffield, we were the sort of the athletic guys, and you've been here long time ago. You were already there. Anyway, they wanted a basketball team. Of course, that's the sport I love. Billy turned out to be an amazing guard. I'm serious. He was really, really good. In fact, I would say I coached a lot of kids, a lot of made university teams back east. But when I got here, Billy was amazing with his abilities. And we only had 7 players on the team. All he wanted to do was play basketball, win, and beat everybody. And Mrs. Rizun was making cookies, inviting the kids to go to her house because they would open the house all the time and they had a train set we could play with. Anyway, we made it right through. First of all, they said, Mr. Weeks, I gotta warn you, we didn't win any games last year, but we tried hard. Well, we won. We won quite a few games. We made it right to provincials. The whole town went to see a game. We were playing the number 3 ranked team in the province. And I knew we did. Bill was destroying the team. And we were 7 guys, that's it. He went down and just scored another layup, third quarter, we're up about 17 points. Yes, the guy he took it from was so angry when he's in the air, he just pushed him, flipped him right over, snapped both wrists. The team didn't care. They didn't care about winning the game after that. They only worried about Bill. And the thing I found was the kids cared about each other. They didn't care if they won. And it didn't matter. Because I'm saying, look at guys, we've only got 3 minutes to go. How's Bill? And I said, okay. And in the end, we lost by a point. But the team, when it was over, all they cared about was Bill. So, Bill, you created a real strength in that school. And Peter and I were talking about earlier, you were special. You would have gone on to university, would have been a superstar at university basketball. Because he could literally dunk it. He could dunk the ball. And he couldn't be stopped. He was just too fast. And I gotta tell you, because of the circumstances with health, he never got that opportunity. But he was probably one of the best guards I've ever seen out of this town. So I just want to tell you. Nope, last one. Last one. Just to let you know what? Don't take this the wrong way, but all the things that I just gave out, like I'd be saving it, and finally about at a certain point, Diane said, Bill, you either get rid of that shit or it's going to It really, but, that's what happens when my daughter comes home. She always wants to chunk out everything. But anyway, and that's why, but I did give them out because I think there was a story that went along with it. But this one is more serious. So with Stefan, I had the privilege of working with Stefan on a project that was just super cool. So without saying too much, I'm going to just give you this. It says on the back. It says, to Stefan, you are a doer. And then it says Bill. Because, and on it is, I don't know, I used to actually know the number 7,643 screws that we put in. I have to write it down. These are the original 2 bets that we wore, the very first. The one on the right is the very first one, and it was stuck in there that we actually had to go get a pipe wrench and do to get out. And then the second one, so I saved, like when he did, Steph was said, Jesus, and he sort of threw it on the ground, and then when he wasn't looking, I picked it up. So these are the original 2 bets that we had, and there's the holes. And so Stefan and I used to say, you know what, let's go do it, because and so I would like to give this to Stefan. This was doing it. If it was a track meet, I'd get really concerned. Okay, I'm Dr. Shell. Sorry.
So we're going to take a little more time with the first question so you can figure out the technology. So let's get started.
All right, Bill was born in Murrayville, BC and Langley, BC, and would later attend Squamish Elementary School as a child. What story does Bill's family always recount about his childhood?
We gave you a full minute on this first one.
That's really good.
It is true. He pushed his babysitter out the window. If you selected A, he hit his friend with a shovel. That's partly true. He did hit his friend with a shovel, but he split his head open. He didn't break his arm. So perhaps his friend didn't put something back where it was supposed to be.
Okay, number 2. So Bill attended school as a teenager housebound, and like many teenagers, he went out and got a part-time job in our community. So this is going to be a little shorter timeline for the next few questions. They're coming.
No, they can't.
What was Bill's first job?
They can't see?
Sweeper at a sawmill, A. Or I guess the red. Dishwasher. Blue is gas station attendant. Green, timber bucker. 10 seconds. All right. Number 3. At House Sound, Bill was a star athlete. He won Athlete of the Year, played football, some serious football, but really played some serious basketball. Now in his grad year, like all other students, he had to write a message for the yearbook. So what did Bill list as his most embarrassing moment in the 1975 high school yearbook? Red, thrown up on the gym floor, school dance. Blue, losing to the teachers. Green, getting locked out of a Seattle hotel. Tripping while walking up the stairs in good old B-Wing.
Let's revisit the sentence which concluded his yearbook write-up. Bill's most embarrassing moment was getting locked out of his hotel room in Seattle for an hour with only his underwear on. And in the future, he plans to go to UBC, play basketball, and meet a lot of nice women.
All right, number 4. So where were you in 1985? So Bill started his teaching career at Brackendale Secondary, teaching a grade 10 class that ran at night. So while Bill was, and there's a whole story about that, but not enough time. While Bill was teaching an evening class, he also had a full-time job during the day. So what full-time job did he have at the same time? Red server, blue logger, green carpenter, orange park ranger.
All right, teachers end up having a lot of good stories over their teaching career, and we wondered if Bill had any good ones from his days as a park ranger. Bill likes to recount a story where he has a surprising encounter with wildlife. As a park ranger, when confronted by 3 bears only a foot away, what did Bill do? Red, hit the bear on the head with a broom. Blue, throw his sandwiches to distract the bear. Orange, shout and scream at the bear. Or green, fire his rifle into the air and accidentally kill a squirrel.
Classic Bill. Classic Bill. All right, next one. Everyone knows that Bill has taught PE for many years. You may not know that he's also taught a variety of academic subjects and did so with a very creative, innovative teaching style. Let's just say Bill was one of the most original project-based learning experts. So the question is, Bill has taught many subjects other than PE. Which is following has Bill not done? Red, English 10, student Bill Barnes for Unit 9 perform. Blue, Socials 9, students reacted Battle Bluebird. Orange, teacher training, Bill taught minibus driving lessons. And green, Science 9, used PE equipment to make a model unit. Nice picture, Stephanie.
And I do his marks is in the lead. Of great importance to Bill was advocating for outdoor education programs at Brackendale. Bill ran many outdoor ed trips for students. What does he say was the hardest part about this? Red, West Coast Trail, 6 days of rain, hiking out 21 kilometers. Blue, choosing which students to take on the West Coast Trail. Orange, taking all of the grade 8s up Diamond Head. Green, hiking out a grade 9 student from Black Tusk in the dark.
Tough question. Yes, Bill was not afraid of leading teams on a 21-kilometer hike with full packs out in the rain or taking every single student on a grade on a small trip. He knew the importance of these trips for kids, and it was very difficult to determine who got to go, and it weighed heavily on him. Thank you, Grace Halverson, as he said, for helping him with those tough decisions. This speaks to how much he cared.
Bill coached many teams over the years, somewhere between 50 and 60 teams in the school and in the community. What event did Bill plan in 1995 so it wouldn't coincide with coaching basketball? Red, surgery on his wrist. Blue, the purchase of a new home. Orange, a trip to climb Mount Logan. Or green, the birth of his first child.
Yes. Bill was coaching a team he'd worked on for many years, and that team was heading to the provincials. So, in agreement with Diana, Ollie was born shortly after the team went to the provincials.
Bill was a great colleague to have on staff because of his sense of humor. He was also a lot of fun at staff parties. What outfit did Bill infamously wear to a staff party in 2003? Red, wedding dress. Blue, Spider-Man outfit. Orange, cowboy outfit. Green, pink tutu.
All right, number 10. We're over halfway. Bill's presence in the staff room was always much appreciated, and he could always lighten the mood at lunchtime. He often used lunch hours to complete odd tasks, and it wasn't shocking for staff to show up and find a dirty pitchfork soaking in the kitchen sink. So, name something inappropriate that Bill has put in the staff room microwave.
Red, reusable ice packs. Blue, a metal utensil. Orange, wet loner gym strip. Green, frozen rodents. All right, Mr. Dusty Boots was a 6-foot boa constrictor who came to us from Whistler Secondary, lived up in one of our science labs upstairs. Bill had been volunteering to feed that snake and accidentally typed in an extra 0 when throwing out Mr. Dusty Boots' snack at lunchtime. No one knew that he was using our lunchroom microwave to thaw out mice and rats. He left the staff room momentarily, and our staff room became engulfed in putrid black smoke. By the time Bill arrived and pulled out the sizzling rats, there were a number of staff members leaving the room, about to lose their lunch.
True story. After 31 years of teaching moments, we asked Bill, what is one of the strangest things that Bill has ever experienced while teaching? Red, a student damaging a cat machine on a run. Blue, students running across the path of a landing plane. I was there for that one. A student with jeans, pack, and work boots setting a run record.
That'd be good.
Green, a student falling asleep during the infamous beep run. Yes, Bill brought out the best of his students, even from the more challenging ones that might have refused to change into their gym strip. They would rise to the occasion because of the strength of his relationships with them.
Bill ran and led our school's biggest event, the indoor track meet, for so many years. For those who've never been in our school, picture a gym packed with students competing in a tug-of-war, relay races, and other creative events. Bill has made the indoor track meet safer. What does he say was the most dangerous event? Red, chariot race. Blue, British bulldog. Orange, blindfolded three-legged race. Green, dog sled with obstacles.
Thinking with that one, we don't even want to know about that.
All right, let's see what you know about Bill outside the school setting. Bill's favorite band is Blue Rodeo. What artist is his guilty pleasure?
Britney Spears.
Red, Katy Perry. Blue, Celine Dion. Orange, Neil Diamond. and green, Anne Murray.
The band is refusing to play Celine Dion tonight.
Here, here.
All right, Bill cares about details. Someone might say he really pays attention to details. According to an informal survey of students, how long can Bill talk about a topic in class? 15 minutes, red? Green, the whole class. Green is the whole class, the whole day, sorry.
No other teacher could get away with talking for an entire period without having classroom management issues. Students keenly watched his expertise and could always sense his passion.
Question 15. As Bill heads into retirement, his family's noticed he has had more time to spend on his favorite website. What is one of the last things that Bill bought off of Craigslist, his favorite website? Red, an Italian fruit crusher. Blue, post saddles. Orange, rare Rolling Stone vinyl. Green, a chop saw. According to Dye, post saddles cost $4.99 at Home Depot. Bill got a deal on them for $1.49. So he drove to Surrey to pick them up. You might ask why he would want to buy these items. Well, Bill wants to build an espalier, a wooden structure to help fruit trees increase their production. The espalier will have to be attached to the greenhouse that also has yet to be built. We share this detail because it shows Bill's ability to envision the future and take steps now to make sure things happen.
Last question. Okay, Bill's vision has been central to many of the great things he has created. What is Bill most proud of having created?
Red, climbing wall. Blue, gym design. Orange, establishing the Don Ross mountain bike team, helping. And green, his family.
All right. All right. So let's look at the top 3 teams. Now before you come up, let's use the projector to let everyone have a look at the prizes. So we're going to project these up on the screen.
More stuff from his basement.
So Rizun Angels. So we have the vintage rookie cards. We got the MVP seasons. So here's the vintage.
Each card comes unique with statistics. If you look at Bill's 1974 rookie card, fashion level is Napoleon Dynamite. The 1975 card, muscles, almost Ellen. We also have some other cards, and these, by the way, have been all designed by Henry Rabicki. Spent an amazing amount of time to make these look good. All right, 1994, coaching years. We have the MVP cards. If you look at his 2014 card, you'll notice that his fashion level is not meeting expectations. And we've got another card that we just couldn't categorize.
Yeah, I remember that. So the winning teams, come on up. Dale, you've got the cards, and they are right by the dessert table there. So if you are on one of the winning teams there, Rizun's Angels.
And we do have extra cards, so once those teams have chosen them, feel free at one point throughout the evening and grab one for yourself if you want one as a souvenir.
Just a quick note to all our viewers. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Mr. Rizun, Pedro just got hit in the groin. What should we do? Sacrifice it all.
Good job. Nice throw.
Oh, that's going to impact the onset of puberty. Look at the dedication this man shows. It's the end of lunchtime. He hasn't eaten anything. Looks like he's going to have to convince these soccer academy kids to go for a run in the rain. What's going on here?
Mr. Rizun, I can't do PE for the next 2 weeks, and like my dad wrote me a note, and like my mom signed it right here, and she said like, Jennifer, you can't do PE for the next 2 weeks. It's right here.
So Jennifer, have you ever listened to your parents before?
Here comes the newest member of the PE department, Daisy.
Bill, I'm really sorry. I went out there with 9 soccer balls and I've now only got 8.
Oh dear.
True story, too.
We try to teach the people in our department to count the balls in front of the children to know that there's consequences they don't miss. You should have had the class out there.
He handled that one well, but you could tell it's eating him up inside. Here comes another interruption. Looks like the office staff have a question for Bill.
Devin, it might be
Okay, so the insurance company has phoned again, and they refuse to insure the climbing wall unless all of their construction questions are answered.
They want to know exactly how many screws were used on the climbing wall.
7,642.
This guy has made it to the end of the day with great numbers. Oh no, the principal's coming into the gym with someone who looks important. I don't like the look of this.
Are you the principal?
I'm the new superintendent.
Oh,
We're thinking of changing the name of Don Ross.
oh my God. Have you talked to Ann Bracey?
Well, too bad, we're running out of time. Back to you, Michelle.
Wow, it's an adolescent psychologist walking into the room to talk with Bill.
Bill, I have been extensively exploring all the research that exists about motivation and behavior of adolescents. And someone has said that you might have some insight. What is truly on the hearts and minds of grade 9 boys?
Sex.
All right, we've reached...
That's a true story. That's what is on the mind. It's potty talk.
All right, we've reached the 4th period. 45 minutes left, and blood sugar is low. Teenage angst, apathy, and hormones are up. Here comes retired teacher Ann Bracey here as TOC to assist with last class day's activity. We're hoping we're going to see a game situation. This is the difference between a star teacher and a Hall of Fame teacher. It's the difference between Trevor Linden and Wayne Gretzky.
They're still trying to figure
These
out.
30 boys and 30 girls are ready with anticipation, nerves, and sweaty palms for the last play of the day.
Is this the 4th block?
Here we go. Stand up, Bill.
I do it differently.
All right, Bill Rizun, everyone, give him a big hand.
Just so you let you know, when Mr. Hodgson retired, what did we do, Peter? What? Oh, he's not listening. Oh, you can always tell the kids sitting at the back, right? Yeah, you know. No, what did we do at your retirement? What dance did we do? That was a Virginia reel. Do you remember that?
Didn't everybody lay
It
down?
was in Paul Peter's backyard. The Virginia reel in Paul Junior's backyard.
Oh, I remember the occasion very well, yes.
You'll not go very far, Mr. Hostin.
Hey, they gave me a wetsuit. I like that.
So we now like to invite Devin Bill to the podium. Devin's a former student of Bill's. He's been a teaching colleague of Bill at Don Ross for about 11 years. So Devin.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Devin Bill. I'm a longtime teacher and one-time student of Bill's at Don Ross, and I'm reading from my phone. I wrote my speech this afternoon after setting up the sound, so there might be some spelling mistakes. We've been asked to speak on certain aspects of the influence and the effect that Bill's had on us over the years, and I've been asked, and it's my privilege to speak about the effect and his influence on my love and passion for the outdoors and outdoor education. So I came to the notoriously rough and tumble Brackendale Secondary School in the fall of 1992. A lanky, 6-foot-tall grade 8 student who very soon earned the moniker Big Big Nerdy. It was sink and swim for us peons, and me and my equally nerdy French immersion colleagues decided we'd better get swimming. Early in that year, the entire grade 8 class went on a hike up to Elfin Lakes, and I remember that vaguely because it was our sort of quirky PE teacher who seemed to be in charge of this crazy operation to bring hundreds of students from all over Squamish up this trail to an amazing lake. And coming from a family that didn't really go into the backcountry, it was my first experience in the amazing mountains that are in our backyard. And I was hooked. One girl got stung by a bee, I remember that. That was on the way down. Middle school PE for me is full of vague memories of synchronized push-ups, 6-lap runs, getting picked first for basketball, only to have my teammates disappointed when they realized how horribly uncoordinated I really was. The alarmingly unfamiliar stench of stale sweat in the change rooms, I remember that. I have to imagine that came from grade 10s or something else. And my very first B. I got a B in PE. And I hadn't really been used to that sort of thing. But I was, I think, mature for my age, and I understood that high school PE was big league, and I was definitely a farm league player on that team. That would have been the story of my PE career for much of my time at Brackendale Secondary. Although in grade 10, Mr. Rizun did allow me and my equally lanky friend Kevin to do our own self-directed running program during the football unit, where we would have certainly been destroyed. And he was, I think that speaks to his caring and understanding nature. He knew that that wasn't for us, and running was, and we excelled at that, and it was years ahead of his time, providing that personalized learning for us, and we had a great time. I don't think we told him we went and swam across Alice Lake one time. The indoor track meet in itself is legendary, and I remember that. But that's not what I'm supposed to be talking about. I could talk for an hour about the indoor track meet, but I'm not going to. In grade 9, Mr. Rizun organized the Black Tusk hike, and that for me was a transformative event. Me and my good friends shared a tent. We were excited for the event. We learned in after school and lunchtime sessions how to set up those stinky old tents, how to pack our decades old orange frame packs, what to bring. The teal and purple were the rage from MEC at the time, and we had all those brand new fleece jackets in the early 90s. And it was an amazing trip. We hiked up to the lake. I had never been, as far as I know, in a tent before that time. We learned, Mr. Rizun taught us how to pack our things, how to tie our boots, how to set up our tents. He introduced us to the rangers up there, and we talked about the importance of the park and the ecology of the area and how we should treat the space around there and not behave like typical grade 9 students. We learned how to use the old stove safely. We learned how to cook, and it was a fantastic time. I remember on that trip, the next day, we hiked up to the top of Black Tusk, and we were allowed to go up to the top of the Tusk if we brought a bike helmet. Because safety first, and Mr. Rizun, of course, did lead the scramble up the chimney, and the bike helmets, of course, protected us from the falling loose shale rock that came down. After having lunch at the top of the Tusk, where Mr. Rizun had an endless supply of stories about the area and the geology and the history and the recreation and the ecology and the environment, we hiked to Helm Glacier, which still existed then, and saw the ice caves and explored around there, and Bill taught us about the glacier and the glaciation action and how the ice caves were formed. After that, and that's a full day, by the way, if you've ever been up there hiking, going up to the Tusk from the lake and down to Helm Flats. We were given the option, and Mr. Rizun said, we're going up to Panorama Ridge for anyone who wants to come, and of course we did want to go. We would have followed, we were excited, we had energy, and we hiked up to the top of Panorama Ridge, and the view from there was spectacular. After that, we hiked down to the camp. I don't know what time we got in, it might have been 6 or 7 or 8, it was getting dark, and we had hiked all day, a distance that I could not imagine students traveling now, and loved that trip. It instilled in me a passion for backpacking and for the outdoors, and that very trip, my best friend and I decided we were going to make sure we were going to be on the West Coast Trail trip in grade 10. My phone turned off. I lost my place in the speech. So in grade 10, the West Coast Trail trip, which was, I think, probably the most memorable event in my high school career. I don't remember a lot of things. I should be careful what I say. There's so many of my old teachers. I remember everything. But when I reflect on the things that I really cherish, and I think of some of the best times of my life of those however many years high school lasts, the West Coast Trail trip was amazing for me, and that's a legacy of Bill's that I know that he was instrumental in starting, in continuing. And the year that I went, Mr. Rizun he wasn't actually our trail leader. He gave that honor to Miss Bracy, and we had a fantastic trip with her. But Bill drove the bus over to the island and got us all set up at the trailhead. He had a football, we played games on the beach. We camped on the beach at the trailhead, and he saw us off when we left. And I think that shows the dedication that he had for that group. Is he drove us over there, and I don't even think he hiked the trail that year. I think he just drove the bus back. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just drove the bus back. He played football with us and camped with us and told stories and saw us off and then drove home and we had an amazing trip. We made Miss Bracy swear. With us, not at us. With us. It was fantastic. I'm losing my place here. When I went to Howe Sound Secondary after grade 10, there wasn't really at that time something organized in terms of backpacking and camping like we had at Brackendale Secondary School. So my friends and I had to organize our own trip, and we did the West Coast Trail 96 reunion trip. 9 of the 10 of us that went in grade 10 went again that next year, and we organized it ourselves. And I think because of the confidence and the skills that we had learned those past 2 years, we were able to do that, and my mom graciously joined us and has regretted it ever since. I can honestly say my 3 years at Brackendale Secondary were the beginning of a lifelong passion for the outdoors, for outdoor education and recreation. I don't think, have received that at home. So many other things I did get there, but my parents weren't those kind of people. And I'm so grateful for that. When I returned to Don Ross many years later as a teacher, I somehow found my way into the role of an outdoor leadership teacher. And later, I found myself the organizer and lead teacher of the Garibaldi Lake hike, which is the continuation of the hike that I did when I was in grade 9, up to Garibaldi Park. As of this year, I've taken groups of grade 9 students up that trail 7 times, I think. Bill would know exactly how many times he's gone. I wish I knew exactly. I think it's 7. It could be 8. Every year I'm excited and love telling the students, who sometimes listen, sometimes don't care, how I did the exact same trip when I was their age in grade 9. And some of my stories, and sometimes they're interested maybe a little bit. But I like to tell them. Every year I see the same sense of adventure and discovery. Some of them mostly sign up because their friends are going, but when they're there, they know that it's more than just being with their friends. It's something special about being in the outdoors, being exposed to that sort of environment. And many of them, I know, would not get that opportunity had they not had that opportunity provided to them at school. Every year, I'm proud and humbled to think that I may be able to open some of those same doors that Mr. Eisen opened for me. And so, Mr. Eisen, thank you very much.
All right, good evening, everybody. I was asked by Stan if I could talk about Bill's capstone legacy project, the Climbing Cave. Hey, Stefan. Yes, Bill. Was it difficult? What was difficult, Bill? Was it difficult for you to go through life being so ugly? Jeez, thanks, Bill. So after reflecting upon the grief that this man gave me over the course of my first couple of years of teaching, it's a wonder that I ever even wanted to associate with him, let alone help him out on an epic project that we completed together. So I began my teaching career at Don Ross. Well, sorry, I've been teaching there for 5 years now. And when I first came there, I was pretty green, pretty new. And I knew my place, so I kept quiet and to myself. And for those of you who might not believe that, I actually was quiet back then. And I mean, how could you get a word in with Bill around anyway? So, Bill always stressed that we were a supportive and cohesive staff because we ate together. We shared meals, broke bread basically, and we shared our stories. And I think he's completely correct about that. We were like a big teaching family there, and because of it, when we eat together, we do amazing things. So I listened to how he would motivate Devin and Gord Wallen to recycle pop cans and juice boxes every Friday afternoon. They would rummage through the garbage cans and look for their 5-cent and 10-cent treasures. Ooh, goody, I would always hear. It wasn't until the end of the year that I found out that this process was actually been going on for 6 years. I volunteered with Devin, and we took some garbage bags full. I mean, there was massive. It took 4 cars to get all these pop cans down there. And at the time we were at the recycling center, they said that they'd raised about $8,000. And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it that they went through this process. And that was just to cover the cost for the engineering blueprints of the climbing cave. They had no way of ensuring that was actually going to happen. That was just to provide the information in the school board. This is what Bill wanted to do. So can you imagine doing all this work with the possibility of it never coming to fruition? I mean, what a selfless act. So about a year went by, and then one day I saw Bill wander into the lunchroom with this little cardboard makeshift model. And it looked like it was taped together by Dr. Frankenstein. And I thought, good grief, Bill, what are you doing? You can't go to the school board like that. You should have just made it out of Lego. But as you know, Bill's a master of persuasion, and he managed to get the approval from the school board to build the climbing cave. And a few more months went by, and Bill actually regretfully found out that he would not be provided with the funds to build the climbing cave from the school board, so he was tasked with finding the proceeds on his own. And that's where his reputation immensely helped him. He was approached by the founders of the Testamental, and he talked to them about this project, and they said, you know what, that totally fits our criteria. This is to benefit the health of the children of Squamish. So at this point I said, you know, Bill, I'll give you a hand with this, because he was also tasked with providing all the labor. This is entirely his own project. Basically, he was allowed to build it inside the school, but he had to do it all. So I asked him at the beginning of May when he was going to start doing it. I was pestering him about it. And he's like, well, I'd like to complete this in time for the 20th annual Testamental. I'm like, that's coming up this June. It's never going to happen. So for those of you who got to race in the 21st Testamental, you're welcome. All right, because it took an extra year. So Bill oversaw every aspect of the project, from concept, design, financing, purchasing, building, and final engineering approval. I witnessed the relentless effort teaching all day, relentless effort on weekends, and throughout an entire summer. I saw dedication and perseverance through all the barriers and logistical nightmares. I noticed frustration with cutting only 5 boards in 3 hours as we're trying to figure out the blueprints. I mean, some of those boards we had to recut like 5 or 6 times because he wanted precise. And it was precise. I mean, we probably could have done it about 6 months earlier, but that's okay. I actually witnessed blood, lots and lots of sweat, some tears of joy when it was finished, and some new profanities coming from Bill. I also discovered Bill's nickname from his first job, which I won't repeat at this time, but could be purchased for a beer at the bar. Bill was also, as you know, as a master persuader, he would recruit volunteers for the project. And the more I know about, you know, it just dawned on me that Bill should have been an administrator, because he's good at getting other people to do his work for him. All right? So, just a little job, anyway. Numerous students and players from his athletics team spent their weekends and summer holidays helping out. Greg Hyduk, which was teaching at our school, and Daisy, as we know him now, spent a lot of time as well. Devin and Bill came to help with the painting, so it was truly a community effort. So Bill inspired everyone, made sure we all had a specific role and a task to do. He would train us on the tools and made sure it was according to his standards. If I were to make a conservative estimate of how many hours Bill volunteered for this project, I would say it's about 2,000. From the beginning to the end, I would say he put about 2,000 hours of his own time in. So if you think about that, it's about a year's worth of work. So Bill basically put in an extra year of his life in a span of about 6 years. So congratulations, Bill, that was amazing. So I saw an opportunity to help a selfless man achieve a dream of his and to keep a promise to his kids. At the end of the project, Bill and I both responded with the same answer when questioned about why we built the cave. It was something worthwhile doing. I'm not passionate about rock climbing, but I am about giving our community wonderful opportunities. And it says here that I only met Bill in the mid-2010s, but I'd heard about him way back in the 90s, just after I graduated, and his reputation preceded him in this community. I grew up here, and I saw the wonderful work that he did with students, and he inspired me. And when I came to Don Ross, I really wanted to work with him because I saw what type of impact he had on friends of mine and their children as well. I'm proud of our craftsmanship, Bill. When we had certified tradespeople coming up to us and saying, "I can't believe you pulled this off," I think it speaks testaments to your work ethic and just how resourceful you really are. I've witnessed hundreds of students enjoy the challenging routes on the walls and benefit physically from that exertion. That is why Bill wanted to build a cave. He wanted to make sure that the kids were healthy. I'm grateful that Bill accepted my offer to help him because now I can be a small footnote in his legacy. So, hey Bill, was it difficult?
Tonight, we decided to split up this speech with each person talking about different aspects of Bill. You just heard Stefan talk about all that he's done for his community. Amazing. Well, I was given my part of this task over 3 weeks ago. And like all of you, I love Bill so much that I wanted to do the best possible job. I probably spent 30 hours just thinking about this first topic. Bill's computer skills. And yeah, I got nothing. 30 hours of thinking and nothing good to say. As the CRT at Don Ross, I realized early on that there are some teachers you teach how to do this skill, and there's some teachers that you just do it for them every year. Right, Di? She's been doing his marks for 25 years. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
They're so bad, he thinks a hard drive is the Sea to Sky Highway in the 60s. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
They're so bad you once tried computer chips but didn't much care for the taste. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
He thinks Gmail is only for dudes. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
They're so bad when I told him the server was down, he thought the lady carrying our beers tripped. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
They're so bad he thinks you can only buy emojis at Sushi Sen. Bill's computer skills are so bad.
How bad are they?
They're so bad he thinks LOL means lots of love. Now, in Bill's defense, he learned that one from his partner in crime, Ann Bracey. Ann's going to be up next talking about her relationship with Bill, so I'll let her fill you in with that story. All right, part 2 of my speech, the next topic I was given. Bill's attention to detail. Yeah, they gave me all the winners. Bill knows that there are 20 $3 rubber basketballs in the bucket, and yesterday there was 21. He knows the basketball court is 84 by 50 feet. He knows the proper height of the badminton net is 5'1" on the edges and 5 feet in the middle. I could go on. To us normal people, it sometimes seems a little over the top. Bill's attention to detail is amazing, and he's done some incredible things because of it. The Don Ross Gym, the climbing wall, the indoor track meet, coaching over 50 teams. For those of you who don't work with Bill, he has the indoor track meet schedule down to the minute for each event. Henry, it's 11:45 and we're 1 minute and 27 seconds behind. We gotta get this thing moving. one of the things that makes him a great coach and teacher. He analyzes everything he sees and thinks how to make people understand and make it better. I had the pleasure of being at this year's commencement speech where Bill was chosen as the parent speaker. Bill spoke eloquently about how he, a 20-year-old PE student, just sat for 2 hours and watched the interactions between a coach and a college-level high jumper, who turned out to be Debbie Brill. I think the motivation for this attention to detail is really his passion for helping other people and the community as a whole. Another thing Bill talked about in his speech to his graduates was grit and determination. Well, we all know about Bill's struggles with his health. His message to the students was that we sometimes have roadblocks in life. Go over them, around them, or through them if you have to. And if you're following your passion, it might just be easier than you think. I was talking with Brian Marchant, a longtime Squamish guy, and Bill's teammate on the 74 Sounders football team, and he used the word courageous to describe Bill. We all know Bill could have given up teaching a long time ago, and nobody would have thought ill of him. Bill has been, and still is, an inspiration to his students, to all his colleagues, to his community, and I'm sure to his family. Bill doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. All right, I'm gonna finish with a good Bill story for you now. I need a prop. I wasn't here for this story, but it was retold to me by my son, Scott Salmon and Trevor Halverson. I think they're around 06 at Don Ross is when they went through grade 10. They were drinking a few beers in my backyard once they're of age and around the fire pit, and they're telling me this story about Bill in the classroom. So we know Bill I think this story is going to pull together some of the things. Great teaching, determination, will. We all know he was a great athlete, but Bill had a bit of theatrics in his teaching as well. Let's set the scene. It's fitness testing time. The flexed arm hang. Bill slowly pulls himself up to the bar, not quivering a muscle. Completely still, like an Olympic Iron Cross athlete of gymnastics. 2 minutes go by. Bill's still talking about the flexed arm hang. We all know he can go on. Still not quivering. He says to his students, "Gentlemen, this is not 90 degrees. This is not 90 degrees. This," as he lets go with one arm, says, "is 90 degrees." At this point, I'd like to pass the mic to Ann Bracey, Bill's longtime teaching partner.
Well, way to go, guys. You've said everything in my speech. Everything. But here we go. Good evening. It's getting kind of late for us retired folks. I've been retired for 2 years now, so my idea of happy hour is a nap. I'm not kidding though. As a retiree, getting lucky is finding my car in the parking lot. My idea of weightlifting is standing up. Bill, you have all these things to look forward to in your retirement. But let's go back, say 20 years, to remember what the Brackendale gym was really like working with you. First of all, there was the 6-lap run, rain or shine. Many days, Bill would come back in the gym looking like a drowned rat. His proud class of 33 following him, covered in mud and sometimes blood, but surprisingly smiling. They'd say in their deepest voices, "It was our 6-lap run day, Mrs. P." And you never fool around with traditions in the Rizun gym. 6-lap run days were sacred. The boys loved Bill. and the gym still reverberates with the echoes of, "Get in your lines, gentlemen." The start of the boys' class always began seated and in lines. And I'm not sure how he got them to sit there like that each day, but sometimes suddenly his voice would be a whisper, and he'd make a comment that would bring down the house. The boys would yell, "Burn," and everyone would hoot and holler and laugh, and then they'd be very still. What goes on in the gym stays in the gym. It was grand watching Bill guide those testosterone-driven nerds into submission. Occasionally, someone would kick a dodgeball or throw a punch or yell obscenities, and then it was time for a Rizun rant. He would gather his troops quietly at his feet, and while on the edge of losing it, use that teachable moment to preach the gospel of Mr. Rizun. I'd hear statements like, "That's what it's like in the real world, gentlemen," or "You have to work hard to make it, gentlemen," or "Set your goals and aim high, gentlemen," or "Don't be a jerk." The boys would humbly submit they were jerks, they'd say they were sorry, and then class was dismissed, as long as all the balls were put away. We had bins of balls, hundreds of size 6, size 7, and game balls. They're all labeled and meticulously laid away for future hoop stars. Equipment was a high priority with Bill. All the bits and pieces were saved and accounted for. One day in June, when we were cleaning and recovering equipment, he climbed up a basketball backboard high up into the rafters, into the roof of the gym. Why, you ask? Well, to kick down random balls and badminton birds that were trapped there. Horrified, I told him to get down. He just smiled and said he always did this. I reminded him he now had children and he should get down. He just grinned and said, "Don't worry about it." Then I ran to Tom Croft, our principal, who slowly sauntered. He had a look and he said he agreed with me. "Would Bill please come down?" Now that's dedication to equipment. Bill, you are going down in the history of Brackendale and Don Ross for your complete embrace of the entire PE program, even dancing. If Mr. Rizun could be seen publicly doing the Macarena, what boy could say no to dancing? Now here are some random reflections on teaching with Bill for 22 years. We never fought or had harsh words. The gym was organized and everything was labeled. His office was not organized and nothing was labeled. His desk drawers were filled with tools to fix stuff, and he'd be fixing stuff until way after dinner hour. The boys would fight over who would be allowed to help him do the jobs in the gym, like moving ping pong tables or taping wrestling mats, anything that needed doing. He had a special way of filing important items, and it wasn't alphabetical. He ran some wicked dodgeball games. He used to answer the phone, "Ann Bracey's office," and then he'd crack up laughing. His class could set up or take down 500 chairs in the gym in 5 minutes and 38 seconds. He had one pair of loaner shorts that thousands of sweaty boys. He was consistent and predictable and wore the same PE clothes jackets and Brackendale rugby shirts for decades. Bill has advanced athletic skills and knowledge in all sports, but especially volleyball, soccer, basketball, badminton, wrestling, and of course dancing the bhangra. He was accepting of all kinds of people and had an unconditional love for a student that was transparent. This year, Bill was presented with the prestigious North Shore Award of Merit for coaching 36 teams over 30 years. But I know that's wrong. It was way more than that. Bill was a master coach for hundreds of basketball and volleyball and track and soccer teams. He has spent thousands of hours in the gyms and fields at Don Ross and around the province, coaching young people skills, drills, and lessons on life. One of my leadership students wrote about their favorite leader, and they chose Bill. And here's what he said, I quote, "William has much knowledge and skill to pass on to me and my generation. He's always on time and he puts a lot of effort into each class. He gives us encouragement and positive feedback to make sure we succeed. He is an inspiring role model and can do things even my friends and I can't do, like one-arm pull-ups and one-hand push-ups." And I especially like this line, and I quote, "He is certain about almost anything." It's true. He jokes around with us and makes us laugh, so his class is entertaining and not boring. William is not only a good teacher, but a good friend. You can talk to him about your problems, and he will give you good advice. He never makes you feel bad about yourself. It's almost impossible to feel down when you are around him. That is why I think William Stephen Rizun is a great leader. Bill, I thought you should know that there was a boy graduating this year who refused to go to grad until he heard you were speaking at it. He wouldn't walk across the stage, but he did come, and he stood at the back just to hear you speak. I think that's amazing. The boys loved and respected you. Okay, here we go. I do miss those PE days, and I know lots of other people do. You seized the moment, you worked hard, you made a difference, you rose to the occasion, and you were a positive influence on students, staff, and me. It was an honor and a pleasure working with you all those years, and I wish you all the best in your retirement. Well done.
So Michelle and I have a few thoughts to add to what has been said already. Over the years, the staff has always appreciated how Bill thinks through the pros and cons and implications of how things would affect not only the entire PE department, but everyone else in the school, whether it be gym expansion, board policies, or school-wide issues. His interest is not self-interest or just out of curiosity. It comes from wanting what is best for both students and teachers.
Bill was admired by almost every student he taught and did his utmost best to have a positive and caring relationship with every single one. He challenged so many students, and especially young men, to be their best. And because of this, he always went out of his way to praise each and every student in his class for their efforts. He always took an interest in their daily lives and hobbies, further strengthening his connection. Make no mistake about it, if students acted out or crossed the line, Bill would challenge them and hold them accountable. And he never did so out of anger or spite. He did this because he believed he had a responsibility to help his students learn, grow, and mature. Maybe it wasn't so much about holding kids accountable. Bill held himself accountable for supporting each and every one. His students respected him for this. He brought a positive outlook to every class and is truly a master teacher.
PE can be a difficult class to teach on cold, wet, rainy days, and it takes a daily toll on our teacher's body. Bill, not only are you tough, you're an inspiration. You know, I see Bill as being like a counselor, helping students improve their self-talk, their resilience, and self-worth. He made them feel proud of their accomplishments and growth, no matter what level they were at. And Bill, I have to tell you, our staff meetings have not been the same without you. We all miss your well-timed staff meeting quips when meetings are getting a little dry.
Bill was the maestro of the indoor track meet, single-handedly taking the lead on our school's most important event. For so many years, he kept a tradition alive that inspires kids to be their best, and a tradition that builds camaraderie and school community. I felt honored to work so closely with you on this event. I know how much preparation and thought went into each and every track meet every year.
Who can forget how we began every indoor track meet cycle the teacher meeting, where we went over the general outline of each event. New teachers listened in awe and fear about what was to happen. Who can forget the excitement of the decoration extravaganza, or all the students decked out in full body paint giving their all in every event and every cheer.
And who can forget how we challenged our older students to lead and understand their influence in our school's community. And no one who was at the indoor track meet will ever forget Bill's outfits. The patchwork of blue, red, green, and yellow clothing, and the various items, such as his bright Batman utility belt, his multicolored jester hat that he wore just to get the students excited. His appearance always signaled that something very special was about to begin.
Standing right beside Bill on this journey has been Diana. Diana, one of the smartest people I know. She's a very creative person. Something you might not know about Di is that she loves doing theater sports and improv. Something that I would imagine would come in handy as a teacher and as a partner to Bill. They make a great team, and I can say without a doubt that Diana has had a big influence on Brackendale Don Ross, both as a teacher here for many years and as a sounding board at home. Not to mention the report card comments, the indoor track and lesson that she helped set over the years. They have raised Hannah Ollie and recent grad Callum to be thoughtful citizens of the world. Hannah's getting close to completing her degree at UNBC. Ollie just finished second year at UBC Okanagan, and Callum, having now graduated, is going to be working at the pool and will be starting school in January at VIU. Di, I'm sure it has not always been an easy journey, but we know Bill could not have done it without you. Thanks for being the most awesome you.
Teachers have one of the most important and influential positions in any society. Every single one leaves a legacy, and Bill's legacy is truly extraordinary. From the thousands of kids he connected with and inspired, to the 60 teams he coached, both in the school and the community, to the amazing gym facility that he envisioned.
Thank you for all the countless hours you spent puttering around the gym and making all those repairs to the gym equipment.
And thank you for the many other jobs and countless tasks that you did that we didn't have time to mention tonight. They all were and are so appreciated. Thank you for being a supportive, thoughtful, and inspirational colleague.
On behalf of all the students you have taught, and on behalf of all the colleagues you have worked with,
we want to congratulate you on a great career and wish you all the best in your retirement. Well done, Mr. Rizun.
Bill's asked me to come up and thank everybody for sincerely all the love here and time and caring that all the work you've done tonight to put this together, and we're both really feeling it, and hopefully this has provided an opportunity for people to reconnect, and it just kind of makes me proud to be a teacher in this community, because when I look around, there's so many wonderful, wonderful people in here, and we should all be proud about the work we do. So I don't know, Bill, do you think you want to come up?
I just want to thank you for your time. I know you're all busy, and it does make you feel good about what you did. Thanks. Okay, that's all.
And we should probably thank our hosts for the evening, Michelle Lafreniere and this really cute saxophone player. I gotta see if I can get his number later.
Have lots of fun.
got your things together. For you are quite prepared to die. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. One night is taken for a night. Don't go round tonight, it's time to take your life. There's a balloon on the rise. Don't go round tonight, it's time to take your life. There's a balloon on the rise. Two more times. There's a balloon on the rise. Instrumental. Give me one reason to stay here. I'll turn right back around. Oh, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. I don't want to leave you lonely. You just change my mind. Well, baby, I got your number. I know that you got mine. Well, baby, you can call me anytime. You can call me, baby, call me anytime. You got to call me. Baby, just give me one reason. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. If I don't want to leave you lonely, you gotta make me change my mind. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take my life away. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take my life away. I just want someone to hold me, love me every day. Well, this youthful love will love you, and it will give you what you need. Take it away, Brandy. You got it. This youthful heart will love you, and it will give you what you need. But I'm too old to go chasing you around, facing my precious memory. Well, give me one reason to stay here. I'll turn right back around. Well, you can see me. Well, give me one reason to stay here. I'll turn my back around. I don't want to leave you lonely. You might make me change my mind. Well, this youthful heart can love you, give you what you need. Well, this youthful heart will love you and give you what you need. But I'm too old to go chasing you around into my precious energy. Give me one reason to stay here.
turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, I'll turn right back around. I do want someone to hold me. I don't really want someone to hold me though. Baby, just give me one reason. Give me just one reason why. Well, baby, just give me one reason. Give me one reason why I should stay. 'Cause I told you that I love you. There ain't no more to say. Give it up for the girls and Brandy Hutchman.
Early in the evening, around the town, everybody go out, try to do the wine. On some corner, trying to make it up. Makes you feel down, loaded on the heart.
Down on the corner, out here in the street, Willie and the poor boys play, drinking nickels every day.
Down on the corner,
Out here in the street, Willie and the poor boys play, drinking nickels every day.
there is no one more, people just got it fine.
Wait till comes the gut face and
Solos for a while.
poor boy tries to rhythm.